Hey y'all, I just wanted to let you know that this episode was recorded on October 9th, and we were hoping that we were going to be able to release it the day of, but that didn't happen because of some technical difficulties we ran into. But hopefully in the future, all of the rest of the episodes will be able to come out either the day we record them or a couple days after. But yeah, if you have any feedback, be sure to let us know, leave it in the comments, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.
What's good, y'all?
What's
Welcome.
goody?
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Brandon.
So we're gonna start. We're gonna be starting a podcast together. We honestly, I'll tell you. We'll start with a little story.
Yep.
About 10 minutes ago, we were trying to finalize the name, and we still don't have a name actually. So we were thinking, we were like, we'll just figure it out as we go. We'll go with the flow, and we thought that might be a good name. We're not committed to it, but maybe it's the Go with the Flow podcast. We don't really know yet. So, if you have any good names, feel free to let us know. Drop them in the comments, whatever. Any ideas are welcome,
Facts.
But for now, it's just a podcast. We don't have a name for it yet.
Brandon and Chris podcast.
For sure.
We're going with the flow.
Yes, sir.
But it's crazy to be here, bro. We're on campus right now.
Facts.
We haven't been here. Well, I came here on Tuesday to take the ACT, but we haven't really been here since March, which is insane. I mean, it's October.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about starting a podcast YouTube channel since like 7th grade. We've been talking about starting a podcast or YouTube channel since sophomore year with all our friends.
Right.
And now we have the resources for it, so we said, why not? Let's just do it.
For sure.
Why not? So yeah, and me and Chris, we go back since like first grade. So we went to elementary school together. We stayed friends till middle school. Then I came to Head-Royce, and now we're seniors.
It's been a minute.
Expos, senior staff. I'm the web editor. I feel like this is important to say. I'm the web editor.
And I'm the sports section editor, and then obviously we're both senior staff.
Yeah.
And we're both really excited to do this. We're really gonna be talking about kind of just stuff that we find interesting and that we think we're gonna enjoy having conversations about. But especially that's gonna be basketball and music because that's kind of like two of the things we have in common, like the most our biggest common interest, I guess. Yep. And but besides that, we're very excited to have some guests on here. We already have some people in mind at the moment, but if you have any guests you think would be interesting, or if you want to come on the podcast,
if you have any topics you want to talk about with us,
exactly, bro. Just please let us know. I mean, we're like I said, we're kind of open to all ideas. We're just here to, kind of have fun with it and hopefully make some interesting content for you all at home.
Yeah, that's really just what I wanted to do. I just want to have a good time. This is a tough time for a lot of people. Sure. So we just want to lighten the mood, give y'all something to laugh at, and honestly have some like more serious conversations when we need to, because just like I said, it's a serious time. So I feel like when those conversations need to be had, we can have those here. So yeah, all right.
Yeah, 100%. So let's hop into it. Brandon did mention just a few minutes ago that he came here on it was Tuesday, right?
Yep, Tuesday.
So Tuesday for the ACT, and it was a long journey for you to get there, right? So tell me about how many tests did you have canceled?
Yeah, it was crazy because I started taking practice tests like last year, like in 2019.
Oh, jeez.
And I signed up for some ACTs in June and July, like I think 3 or 4, and they all got canceled. So I was like, all right, at this point, it's not gonna happen. I kind of let my foot off the gas in terms of studying, which was a mistake. Don't do that, because I ended up taking it because they offered it at Head-Royce, which I'm really glad they did. That was a great thing that Head-Royce did. But it was tough because I really only had like a week and a half to study. So I was like, I was really trying to get back into that mode, but I don't know, it was weird. But like I said before, it was weird to be back on campus. It's crazy right now, just looking around and it's empty, no more chairs, nothing like that. But I'm lucky, I'm fortunate that I was able to take it here because I know a lot of other people had to go super far away, like Idaho, Sacramento,
all over the place.
All over the place to take this test, and I just got to take it here. So I'm thankful. Thank you to Head-Royce for offering.
Speaking of Sacramento,
we have a guest
over here
already. coming down.
He will. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. If you want more Jaden Wong content, he will be having a full podcast.
Yes, sir.
It's our guy Jaden Wong coming through to pick up a camera. Say what's up to the people.
We're definitely getting him back on the podcast.
Yeah, he'll be here.
So
He'll have his own
all the
episode.
Jaden you're gonna get.
Don't worry about that.
A lot more Jaden.
But I sort of had a similar experience because I started in January. My first because I did one of those test taking services.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first one was in January, and I was studying up until March 13th. I had a really good score on March 6th. Yeah, March 6th because I took a practice one. I was feeling great. I was ready to go, and then all of this. Oh wait, no, it was March 7th. Yeah, because it was a Saturday. My bad. But yeah, feeling great, ready to go.
Yeah.
Didn't go well, obviously.
Okay.
It got canceled literally 2 days before. It was very sad.
Yep.
And then so of course like you, I signed up then for June, canceled.
Yep.
Signed up then for August, canceled.
Yep.
Signed up then for Head-Royce one in September, which also got canceled. That was supposed to be last week on the 23rd.
Yeah, I think
That got canceled. Then they announced that the ACT was happening. That was when I actually started to believe that the one on the 14th next week for us is going to happen, for the SAT is going to happen.
Yeah.
But, luckily I started studying for the one on September 23rd, and if I'm being honest, it's probably good for me that it didn't happen because I'm definitely more ready now than I was last week, a lot more ready. I've gotten a couple of decent scores. Hopefully it'll be fine. But at the end of the day, they're all test optional, right? It's not really a huge deal.
Shout out to all the colleges that went test optional.
Facts. That's part of the thing. I almost didn't want to study because I was like, is it worth my time? Because I'm spending out a few hours a week, right? Taking tests, practicing all that. I was like, is it worth my time to do this, or do I just focus on my essays and just nail those? You know what I mean? But for me, especially because I feel like I'm a pretty good test taker. It's better. My tests are better than my grades. So I was like, if I can take that, if I can get the score that I probably could have gotten in March, I think I could have gotten in March at least, then it's gonna help my application. So decided to go with it. But it's been an interesting journey. That's been probably the most wild part of this whole college process to me in terms of how it's been affected by COVID is the testing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how were your visits? Because for me, I felt like the visits, a lot of them kind of seemed the same.
Yeah.
So I honestly think that it might be easier to do the virtual ones because that way it's not just a campus tour. They're kind of actually telling you stuff. So I don't know. What do you think about the whole visits and how that was affected by COVID?
Yeah, okay. So the way I think about visits is something that I really value in a school is the vibe of the school, how it feels to be on campus, and how people interact with each other. It was actually really helpful for me to go on campus, be able to visit some colleges on the West Coast. And I was planning on going to the East Coast to visit colleges during spring break.
Right. Yeah.
But we couldn't do that.
Same. Yeah, I was planning to go, I think, to Chicago to visit a few colleges. So yeah, same with me.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it's making it a lot harder because going to campus actually moved up a lot of colleges on my list because I was like, oh, this has a really cool vibe. Everyone seems happy. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone seems studious when they need to be, but also can lighten up a little bit. So it was tough because a lot of the schools that I'm applying to or thinking of applying to are on the East Coast.
Right, and you've never been there to any of this. Yeah.
Never been there.
I see what you mean because I did some in. It must have been February because I over the break, the ski week, I went to the East Coast, which so I guess I was kind of lucky in that sense. But I see what you mean because there was some schools that I was like, this is not for me, and then there were some schools that I was like, I could see myself, and so I see what you mean. But I feel like that was the one thing that you can get from it. I don't know though because I don't know if it was just because I did a bunch in a week, but all the information sessions at one point they just start blending together. Didn't even know what school was what at some point. But yeah,
I'm very glad that I took notes. I was taking notes whenever I went to some visits, so I was able to remember everything for which school is which.
That's nice.
That was very helpful. But I definitely know what you mean. I was doing two tours a day.
Oh yeah.
Everything was just I don't know what's what.
It's kind of brutal at that, yeah, because you're just walking around. You're like, this school, oh, yeah, we have 60% of our classes are 20 or less, and then some schools 70, and you don't even, at some point you have no idea which one's which. But yeah, my mom Actually, she had a whole sheet that I had to fill out for each college,
Mhm.
of course. And so I do have some notes, which is definitely helpful because then you could kind of remember what you thought at the time,
Right.
which is good. But yeah,
Right. So yeah, that's a whole different thing. It's that time right now. It's that time to think about colleges.
yep.
One thing that's actually helpful from the visits is that some of the colleges that I visited are doing like information sessions at Head-Royce, and so I still have
Right.
those notes. So like I can ask questions based on those notes in the information session. So that's good. So
Yeah. My first application is due a week from yesterday, bro.
bro, what day is it? I don't even know. October. Really?
Yeah, UNC. It's due on the 15th, bro.
That's
I'm
wild.
I'm nervous, bro.
I thought it was on November 1st.
No, most of them are UNC. They're special, I guess. they have to make theirs early, but no, yeah.
Good luck, bro.
Thanks.
That's stressful for sure. Like,
It's getting real at this point.
Yeah.
It's like wow,
yeah, no, it's like
We're going to
setting
college.
in that like it's college time.
bro. Yeah, and you know what I thought yesterday? I think I was talking to my friend, and it's our last Halloween, like, as kids
Bro,
in
I
high
don't-
school and all that,
I don't even want to think about that.
and it's gonna be canceled because
Yeah.
of COVID.
No,
Wow.
hanging out with friends during Halloween.
It
This is our last everything.
Just
pretty
wonderful.
much.
Yeah, I was like, that was my last September I just spent at home, pretty much.
We're just bumming out all the seniors right now, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
sorry
sorry
guys.
for any seniors watching that, we just bummed out. Yeah, we should talk about something, I don't know, exciting that's happening right now, such as
I know something exciting.
Yes, sir.
That was
Yes, sir.
smooth. That was
Let's
smooth. That was
go.
smooth. All right. Well, the top into the NBA Finals, like we
Yes,
said.
sir.
You know,
Yes,
we're some
sir.
basketball fans. Of course, we got to talk hoops for sure.
Yes, sir.
So up until this point, Lakers up 3-1.
Mm.
You know, we saw. I think they won games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Game 3 was Jimmy Butler's
Went crazy.
little Superman whatever performance. He
Yeah.
went off 40-point triple double.
Yeah.
First dude to outscore, out rebound, and out assist LeBron in a finals game. Crazy. Went off, won. Lakers came back and just won again in game 4 because they
Yeah.
kind of just roll. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think. We're recording this podcast on October 9th for those of you that do not know.
Yeah.
It's 9 a.m., 9:45 a.m. actually right now. The series is over tonight. That's my opinion, man. That's my opinion. The series is over tonight. The Lakers, they're wearing their Mamba jerseys, bro.
Oh, yeah, it's over.
They haven't lost in those.
Mm.
They're not losing tonight. I don't think so. I don't think LeBron's gonna let it happen. I don't think AD's gonna let it happen.
I feel you, bro. Like LeBron this season, or this playoffs at least, has been so focused, and you can just tell by his demeanor on the court. Like he's like, whenever someone messes up, he's like super mad about it. Whenever he scores, he gets super hyped. Like he's in the zone right now. You can just tell, and he's balling out. And when he needs to, he's deferring to Anthony Davis. Like the Lakers' game plan is just it's top tier right now. I'm not gonna lie. And everyone's pretty much on their A game right now. And the only game where they weren't on their A game during the finals was Game 3, and they lost.
Yeah.
Which I think is something that like that's really the only way that he can win tonight is if the Lakers don't play well. Like if the Lakers don't play well and the Heat play amazing, that is the only way they're winning any of these games. That's the only way they won Game 3. The Lakers were playing sloppy and the Heat were playing amazing. Jimmy Butler went crazy. So without that, yeah, I don't think the Heat can win tonight. I don't think, like you said, I don't think LeBron is gonna let the Lakers.
It's not happening, bro. It's not happening tonight, man.
Yeah.
LeBron, like you said, LeBron is in the zone. If you see him on Twitter, he'll just be tweeting in the random hours like how he's just not sleeping. Like he's locked in right now. He's completely locked in, and the thing about LeBron when he's locked in is that means that he controls the entire game. Because the one thing about LeBron that I always say is that's crazy is that he's a pass first player
Yeah.
who is averaging like 27 on his career, which it's wild to just think about. But what that means is that he has the ball in his hands. He controls everything. I saw like a thing on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, that said that DeMar DeRozan, he said his teammate once forgot a play, and then LeBron told him the play.
Yeah.
Was that you? Did you
Yeah,
send
I saw
that?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sent it to. I don't know, but yeah, that's the type of when he gets locked in.
It's different. You can't stop.
You're in trouble, man. You're in trouble because he's gonna control everything. Not only is he gonna control his scoring, but he's gonna control who's scoring on your team and who's scoring on his team, and
Like
it's tough, man.
You can't stop him when he's locked in. I mean, like there are a lot of games in the past during the playoffs where he's been like very pass first and very like, okay, I'm gonna defer to AD, I'm gonna defer to Kyrie, And those are the games where the Lakers usually have trouble. But when LeBron is able to look to score and to pass, that's when it's deadly. And, especially with the Lakers offense, like, they have Rondo, who's been shooting really well, and he's amazing.
Playoff
passer.
Rondo, man.
Yeah, playoff Rondo.
That's real. That's real.
It's a real thing. You have Caldwell Pope shooting well.
Which is wild.
Game four.
No, he went off, though. He closed the game out for them. That was wild.
Right. And that's the main thing about the Lakers offense. When they are shooting well, you can't stop them, because what the Heat have been trying to do with the zone or with the man is that they're trying to focus in on Anthony Davis in the paint. But when everyone's shooting well, you can't crowd the paint. You can't double team Anthony Davis. You have to focus on the shooters. So when they're shooting well, you can't stop that, because if you focus on the shooters, they're just going to give it to AD, easy layup. That's a dunk. But when you focus on AD and everyone's hitting, you can't stop it.
You're kind of just done. You're in trouble, man. Like, this team is really talented. I mean, you see, obviously it starts with LeBron and AD, but like you said, Rondo, and don't forget Rondo and AD in New Orleans were crazy together, and they kind of have brought some of that now to LA. I mean, they have other talented guys, and I think it's funny how Lakers fans, as soon as one dude plays badly, they hate him. Like, with all of their hearts, they just hate. Like, because at the beginning of the year, you remember Kentavious Caldwell-Pope? He was he was Lakers fans' favorite dude to just absolutely just rag on. They were relentless with it. Then it's kind of switched to Kyle Kuzma, just because Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was playing well. So they just were like, nah, Kyle Kuzma, you suck. Like, they just went in on him. And then now it's Danny Green, kind of. Because every time Danny Green misses a corner three, Lakers fans riot, bro.
Yeah.
So, but
Lakers fans will not cut you any slack.
Right.
they're like, we need perfection.
It's brutal, man. But the thing is that those are all good players.
Yeah.
Like, those are all. I mean, they're not stars, but those are all good supporting players, and we have them all playing well. LeBron's controlling everything.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
It's tough. And I mean, the Heat have a great team.
They do.
They're like the definition of team basketball that just works, because you have Jimmy Butler, who can score, like when he's focused on scoring. In Game 3 he had 40, but he also had the triple double, because he has all of those shooters around him. So when they're on, well, I guess you can't stop them, because the Lakers have been. But in order for the Heat to win, people have to go off tonight. Like, Tyler Hero has to play great. Duncan Robinson, they have to create open shots for Duncan Robinson.
That's been tough for them so far. The Lakers have been doing a great job on him, but
yeah, exactly. Like, the Lakers' defense is suffocating the Heat.
Oh yeah.
Right now. They can't get any open shots.
And that's the thing. The thing about the Heat that made them good is kind of also, I think, their biggest weakness, and that is that they don't have one guy that scores all their points, right? So, like you said, Jimmy Butler, he's our best player, yeah, but he's also, this is a kind of a different conversation, but I don't qualify him as a superstar. Mm-hmm. He's a great player, but he's not scoring 25 a game. He's just not doing that.
Yep.
He can easily go for 20 in any given game, and what makes them good is that Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Goran Dragic, Duncan Robinson, and then in the regular season also Kendrick Nunn can all go for 20 at any given point, right? So that makes them really hard to stop, in the sense that if you focus on Duncan Robinson, boom, Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler are going for 20 each. You focus on Jimmy and Tyler Hero, Bam and Dragic, you know what I mean? Yeah. You have other guys that are going to go for 20 if you try and focus. You can't focus in on one guy. Right. They can have anyone on the floor can score 25. Right? Yeah. But then in the finals, when the defense is really good and you need one guy to force his way to 25, and the Lakers have two of those guys who are just, they will get 25, and it's no one else is going to get 25, but they are going to get 25, right? Yeah. Then you have a problem, because you don't have a guy that you can just rely on. Right? And the Lakers have two guys that they can rely on at all times. And then plus when you have the supporting cast doing their job, Rondo, I just looked up, shooting 39.5% from three. That's tough, because that's one of the best ways to defend him is let him shoot. When he's hitting like that, you're in trouble, right?
I mean, when Rondo is hitting threes, it's raps.
It is.
Because literally everyone on the Lakers floor can shoot. Like, LeBron can shoot, especially when he's clutch. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope can shoot. Caruso can shoot. Kuzma can shoot. Anthony Davis can shoot. So when they're shooting like that, you can't stop it.
Danny Green can, but despite what Lakers fans may think.
I mean, he hasn't played great. He had a good game 4. But yeah, I mean, going back to the Heat offense, like one thing that really got on my nerves over just the playoffs in general, but especially the finals, is Jimmy Butler's lack of attacking. Yeah. So basically, what I was saying is that when the Heat are hitting and they're being aggressive, Jimmy Butler's going to the hoop to score, not to pass, to score. That's when the Heat are successful. But like, if the Lakers are hitting, it's bad. It's bad for the Heat because like they have to disrupt them early, get Anthony Davis in foul trouble, which is what they did in Game 3. You know, he had to sit out and he couldn't get in his rhythm, so that's why he was off in Game 3. So if they could do something like that again, that would be great. But I think the Lakers are gonna be too locked in tonight.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about Jimmy Butler is that he will take charge in the fourth quarter. That's kind of his thing, is that he's going to not be super aggressive, and in the fourth quarter he's going to play great on both ends and then kind of try and close the game out.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with what you were saying, is that if Jimmy Butler's not attacking for 40 minutes, they're not going to be able to, the rest of the offense isn't going to work without Jimmy Butler. He's going to have to kind of dominate. He's going to have to be scoring like, you can go bucket for bucket with LeBron, which obviously can't happen 4 games in a row, which is why they can't win the series, I don't think. Or 3 games in a row, I guess. But because I did think originally also at the beginning of the series it was going to be Lakers in 6.
That's what I thought.
But when those 2 injuries it was Dragic and Bam, and then Jimmy got banged up too in Game 1. It was you kind of, the writing was on the wall. It was kind of obvious that it wasn't going to be much of a series at that point.
That was so demoralizing. I mean, and I think if Dragic was in the series, they would have had a chance to win Game 4 because they were playing pretty. Like Game 4 was like looking like Game 3 a little bit. Like the Lakers weren't the Lakers were playing okay until the end where they really caught on fire. But the Heat were playing really well in Game 4. And I think if they have Dragic, they would have that extra push, that extra scorer, that extra three-point shooter that would push them over the edge. And also just have more bodies because they have been getting really banged up this series. Someone else to bring up the ball, someone like that. So I think the series could be 2-2 if they had Dragic. And
let's not forget that was their leading scorer in the playoffs. As weird as it is that Jimmy's their best player, Bam I would say is their next best player right there with Jimmy, and then obviously Tyler Hero is fun. He gets a lot of attention, but Dragic of all those guys was their leading scorer in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, obviously that's going to be a big blow. I mean, I think it's less of a blow when you have a bunch of other guys that are right next to him with similar scoring numbers, but it's going to be big when you lose a guy like that. So
that was tough to see.
It's unfortunate.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he's going to come back. And it's just like, Miles already banged up.
And he did come back, but it's still,
even
he's not 100%. And I don't think there's any chance Dragic comes back. So
I don't think so. But so yeah, I'm saying the series ends tonight.
Yep. So one thing that I've seen is a lot of people debating Finals MVP. You know, is it LeBron? Is it AD? That's really no. Come on, we know who's gonna win the finals. But yeah, Finals MVP. Who you got?
It's tough, man. I am gonna have to go with AD. I think
that's who you would pick if you were voting.
That's who I'm going with right now because AD has been like without AD, the Lakers would not be as successful. They wouldn't be able to shake up the Heat defense like they have because, like I was talking about earlier, when you have AD in the paint, who's so dominant and is so big and who's so crafty, he can shoot too. Like you have to put all your attention on him, which takes away attention from the shooters, so you can just kick it out. And without AD, if you had like Timofey Mozgov in the paint, they don't have to pay any attention to that. I mean, Bam Adebayo could handle Timofey Mozgov easily. So, and there's also no shooting threat. So when you have no shooting threat, like you can just sag off a Timofey Mozgov if he's on the 3-point line. But with AD, you gotta be all up on him, which leaves the middle of the floor wide open. Because when the Heat run that zone, the middle's always open. You have a player cut right into the middle, pass it down to behind the basket. LeBron easy dunk. That's it. So, and he's just been going off. I mean, he had. I should look up the stats, but he's been in the 30s.
He had 30. I think he's averaging 26 basically, something like that.
Yeah. On
the series, but what's crazy is he's shooting like 60% from the field.
Yeah.
And the 50-something% from 3 or something like that. Like he's been really, really efficient. Now, I'm leaning towards LeBron because if you do look at the numbers, LeBron has the advantages. But more than that, in terms of who I think will actually win it, I think it's LeBron. Because look at the media. Like, I don't think LeBron can win a title without the media voting him for Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. I don't see it happening. Especially, it's not like he had a bad series or anything. He's a great series, too. So I think if it's 50-50 with two different dudes, media's going to pick LeBron.
That's fair.
And I think he's still the best player in the world. So I think it's not out of the, like, it's not like unfair or anything to pick him.
No.
And also because if they don't pick LeBron, that's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah, the media's going to eat that up.
The GOAT debate is going to be starting right back up again. MJ would have never let that happen.
AD carried LeBron.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Which is a conversation I want to have on the podcast. We gotta have the GOAT debate.
Oh.
We gotta have it, and I don't think I'm the right person to rep MJ because I know you're saying LeBron, right?
I think we can have this conversation at some point, but
say it for later.
I think the word great is just too broad to really define it, and so that's a boring answer. But at the end of the day, I think LeBron's the best player of all time. I'll tell you that much. But.
All right, well there we go. But we'll have that. That's a conversation for a later day. But I'm looking at the stats right now, and LeBron is averaging 26.5 points. I think this is for the finals. Hopefully it is. And 9 assists per game. He's shooting 53% from 3. Does that make sense? There's no way that's right. There's no
Let me
way.
check.
But AD's numbers are 29.5. Did the rebounds on here? Let's see. 9.7. Looks like, or 9.
Wait, let me check.
So yeah, I just think that AD has been the key to the Lakers' offense this series. Without him, he would have a much easier time containing LeBron and all the shooters. So I think that AD has to be. I don't want to say it has to be because I think LeBron has a great case for MVP. He's also just been the leader, obviously. So I think that is something that is very important in the finals. Because you had a Finals MVP like Iggy, who won off of his defense and. So it's not all about offense and who scores the most in the finals. So I think that's, that would help LeBron's case.
Well, Iggy was not the deserving Finals MVP though.
Ooh.
Because okay, I get that he played great defense on LeBron, and that's what changed the series.
Yeah.
But it's called the Finals MVP. Who was the best player on the winning team? I mean, the best player in that Finals was LeBron. We know that, but.
Yeah.
Who was the best player? Here we go. Here's the NBA. This is the finals. LeBron's 27.8, 11, and 8.5. AD is 25.8, 9.3, and 3. AD also 1.8 blocks per game, though, and he's shooting 60% and 55% from 3. And LeBron's 54 and 36.
AD's averaging less?
Yeah, he's averaging less. Because game 3, I think he scored like 22 because he was in foul trouble. But yeah.
Tough game.
Yeah. That's the thing. Because the thing is, I remember in 2018 when KD won over Steph, is that Steph had that one terrible game 3, and that's the only reason he lost, because if he scores a normal amount in that game, he easily wins it. But KD carried them so much in that game that he won it. So, but then this is interesting though, because AD had an off game, but they lost that game.
Facts.
And then, so really, I mean, the first 2 games he was the leading scorer, I think.
Yeah.
And then game 4, LeBron, I think, outscored him also. But, and also, I think it depends on tonight a little. Well, it definitely depends on tonight.
Sure.
Because if tonight LeBron goes for 40, LeBron wins it.
Yeah.
Tonight AD goes for 40, AD probably wins it. So,
yeah.
We can definitely see.
Yeah.
I'm
saying AD right now, but I think, like you said, LeBron's going to go off tonight. He's not letting him lose. He's going to come out going crazy. He's going to come out hitting threes, being super aggressive, all of that. So I think LeBron is. Right now I'm saying AD, but after Game 5, I'm thinking it's gonna be LeBron.
All right, that's definitely fair enough. I mean, yeah, I think it could easily go either way, but media's gonna pick LeBron if it's too close to call. That's definitely what I'm gonna go with.
I think that there's a possibility that if it's really close, the media might pick AD because I think back to I guess it was the 2019 season where Giannis won the MVP, and I think a lot of the reason why he won MVP is because of the story of being such a young guy, not coming up from the greatest background, I guess is a weird way to say it, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that would be a good kind of like, oh, it's 80's first finals. He's a young player, and he's carried LeBron, which I think is a conversation that a lot of people are gonna have. Like, so I don't know. I think it's gonna be really close. But.
We'll see, man. Yeah. We'll see. The thing is that also, I guess the reason why I say that they're going to pick LeBron is because I think the media loves LeBron, which they should, because he's, like, always the biggest story.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the fact that he got so many MVP votes and people were so mad that he didn't win MVP this year, which, when he clearly didn't have as good numbers as Giannis did, and Giannis was also the defensive player of the year, so it's like, if he's the best defender and comparable stats on offense, come on, man. Like, better record, all that. I get that LeBron is a great story. Oh, like, whatever, year 17. It's insane that he's doing that in year 17. Let's not get it twisted. But really how the MVP should be voted for, I think, at least, that definitely goes to Giannis. And there was a lot of people talking about LeBron. Yeah. So, we'll see, though. We'll see. But really, though, either way, it could depend a lot on tonight, but who knows?
Yep. That's an interesting take on the MVP. These are conversations that we're setting up these conversations for later. We're going to have this conversation about the 2015 finals, who's the MVP then. And we're going to have this MVP conversation. I think next episode, when the finals are over, because they're ending tonight, I think.
Probably.
We're going to have that conversation. We're going to have like a season recap, because it's been a wild season.
Sure, yeah.
For sure.
But do we want to jump into some music before we wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. So, honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of music that came out Thursday night, the night before recording this. But last week, there was a pretty big drop with 21 Savage and Metro Boomin dropping Savage Mode 2 to follow up to Savage Mode, which came out in 2016. And I saw a lot of people on Instagram and Twitter going crazy over this thing, which I kind of understand, but in my opinion, I don't think it was that great. And I think that Metro Boomin did his thing. The beats were crazy. The beats were super, like, full of different sounds. You had, like, little violin sounds. The 808s were going crazy. But I think, honestly, the worst part about this project was 21 Savage. I don't think he did his thing, bro. And maybe it's just me not loving 21 Savage, because let me be real. I didn't like the first Savage Mode. And I think that's because I just felt like it was boring, and especially at that time, 21 Savage was not he was not as good of a rapper as he is now. He wasn't as versatile. He wasn't as expressive with his voice, and I think that it just kind of brought the project down altogether. And I think he was kind of the same thing here. In this project, he's definitely a much better rapper, a much more interesting, exciting rapper. But even then, it's just it wasn't enough. He didn't switch up his flow enough. It was kind of the same thing every song. It wasn't as interesting. I honestly, best parts of the project, Metro Boomin, Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman went crazy. Bro, I wish Morgan Freeman spit some bars on a song, bro. The little monologues he gave, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I remember. So I'll be honest with you. I need to listen to them at least twice before I have any idea what I have to first listen to it. I just have to react, and then I have to listen to it, actually think what songs do I like, So I haven't listened to it twice. I didn't do my homework. My bad. But what I can tell you is that last week on Thursday night, when I went on Instagram, those little basketball memes. I was telling him before this, but the basketball memes where they show like 2 good stat lines or whatever, 3 good stat lines, and say this is these 3 guys on the album. I saw one of those with Morgan Freeman, Metro Boomin, and so I was so confused at first. But no, I think it's hilarious that Morgan Freeman was narrating a 21 Savage album, bro.
Yeah.
That was, obviously, I've listened to the whole album all the way through once, or most of it at least. And, it was funny just hearing him on there talking. Yeah. And now some of his monologues, at least one of them, has turned into a TikTok sound, which is...
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
One thing you're going to learn, I'm not on TikTok. I'm not paying attention to any of the TikTok trends. So Chris is really the one that's keeping me updated on all the TikTok stuff. Yeah.
Well, when we have J-Dub on the podcast, he'll tell us all about... We'll talk to him about TikTok.
Yeah, he'll tell us all about TikTok.
Our resident TikToker.
But. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I don't know. I'll give it a 7.
7?
Maybe.
All right.
6.5, 7 out of 10.
Okay. So you weren't loving it like the people on social media were?
Nah, there were a couple cool songs. I think Running was cool. My Dog was cool. What was it? The 13th song on the project? I forget the name of it, but it was cool. It had some cool songs, but it just wasn't as exciting as I wish it was, and I think that's just partly. I think it's just mostly 21 Savage just not being that exciting of a rapper. I'm not gonna lie. People might be mad at me for that, but I don't know. I can't. He doesn't like. He's not that interesting of a rapper to me. Like, he'll get you in a mood, like kind of like he'll get you in a savage mood. But like, that sounds corny.
Into savage mode.
That's what it is. Savage mode, savage mood. That's what he does, but it's not as exciting as I wish it was. But Metro Boomin did his thing. Morgan Freeman did his thing. So yeah, there's that.
And the 13th song was No Op Left Behind. That's the one you liked? Or?
I think it was that one.
Okay.
It might have been the last song. I don't remember. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. And then other drops. So another one that came out last week was Bryson Tiller dropped Anniversary, which was it's basically the sequel to Trap Soul, which I loved. It's one of my favorite projects of the decade. It came out in 2015 and came out exactly 5 years after Trap Soul Anniversary, and I love Bryson Tiller as an artist, but I gotta say that I feel like it might be his worst project. I'm not gonna lie. Like it hurts me to say that, but I think Trap Soul was an amazing project. True to Self, which came out in 2017, was a cool project. And Anniversary, it wasn't. There was no exciting moments on it. Like I don't know if you listen to it.
I think I listened to like a few songs. I don't even think I'm qualified to speak on Bryson Tiller, bro. I don't really.
No, which is fine.
I don't really know. You know, to be honest, like that's just not the type of music I listen to. So yeah. I can't say whether it's good or bad, but that's.
No, that's fair. And first episode of the podcast, we're getting used to this. We're gonna,
Yeah, we will. I promise I'll start listening to the music, so I'm more qualified to jump in on these discussions. But
no, it's all good,
yeah.
And I want to have this conversation with a couple other people.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some guests, some musical experts on here, so to speak.
Exactly.
They'll.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and there's gonna be more drops this year that you'll be more like want to talk about a little bit more. Because I don't know, this year's been pretty good for music, and I think that the fall of this year and winter of this year are gonna be fire with the drops.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Anniversary, I thought it was cool. I thought like. There was a song Timeless Interlude that was probably the best song on it, but other than that nothing really stuck out. It was pretty it was just kind of basic R&B, nothing too crazy. Bryson Tiller had a Drake feature and Drake didn't even go crazy on it.
Oh man, that's tough.
When a Drake feature doesn't land, that's how it's like and there's a Drake feature on Savage Mode and I didn't think that song was like great. So
honestly, I like that one. That was a vibe for me, bro.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, like it felt very flat for me. So I would give that, if we're doing ratings, I guess that's the thing I'll do. I'll say it's about a 6.
All right.
Which is kind of tough. But.
And I do, like you mentioned, I think it's been a really good year for music. And I do think like, when are the Grammys? Are they in the end of the year or the beginning of?
I think they're January, February.
So then, are we gonna do our whole 2020 album of the year discussion? I guess.
I think we'll do that at the end of this year, and then we'll do when we find all the Grammy nominations.
All right, there we go. Yeah. So we'll talk about all our favorite music from the year. I do have some albums that I definitely did listen to that I enjoyed.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I think it's about time that we have to wrap it up. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I think we're gonna have some longer ones. This is our first one, so it took us a minute to get started.
Yeah, way to get set up.
But yeah. If you're still here, you're a homie. Appreciate you for
watching. I really
staying throughout it.
And
yeah.
I got it before we end. I got to give a shout out to my brother. Happy birthday to my brother Marcus.
Happy birthday, Marcus. My guy.
That man is old. He's 28.
Oh man.
Man. So happy birthday to you. Love you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for being super supportive of me and giving me all the support that I need. I really appreciate it. So I had to give that shout out. So.
Yeah, Marcus. That's my guy right there.
Yes,
Marcus
sir.
Bird.
Free bird.
So yeah. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, Stay tuned. Hopefully, I don't know when this is going to go up, but hopefully we'll have another one a week after that.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah. Peace.